Good morning and welcome to the Daily Light Devotion. And I hope you've had a wonderful Monday and looking forward to a great and beautiful Tuesday. Today we are recording for the 6th of May and we are looking at yielding to the Holy Spirit. Yesterday we looked at the personhood of the Holy Spirit, that he is a person, he wants a close, intimate relationship, he guides us, he searches the deeper things of God. Right. Today we're going to look at how we need to submit to the or yield to the Holy Spirit, give just give everything we have to him and let him guide us. So each day and each moment of our lives we have a choice, right? The choice is whether we follow our own ways or we yield to the Holy Spirit, uh, and to his ways, right? For us to guide us, to teach us, to let us know things, to release the wisdom of God in our lives. And this yielding to the Holy Spirit isn't weakness, it is actually strength. It is a strength for us. Trusting the Holy Spirit to guide us, correct us, and empower us is powerful. It is a life transforming experience because it is very tough for us as humans because of our self centeredness to give in to the Holy Spirit, because He may tell us to, and most of the times He tells us to do things completely different the way we think. When we do not want to forgive someone, the Holy Spirit is telling us to forgive. When it becomes very tough to love someone, the Holy Spirit is telling us to love that person with God's love because we've been loved. The Holy Spirit is always constantly guiding me. Do not take offense. You know, uh, they don't. The battle is not physical; it's a spiritual battle. But at the same time, Jesus has won the spiritual battle, right? So we don't, then it helps us to know that to love the person despite not taking offense. When we do not take offense, offense is only taken, not given. Remember, it is easy to love that person. Why? Whatever the person says, does, thinks, it doesn't matter anymore. And we have to yield to in our own self. It is very impossible to do it because of our because of the way we think. If we think according to the world, because the world is fallen, the world says we have to take revenge. The world doesn't talk about mercy, but the Holy Spirit talks about mercy, extending mercy to everybody because God has extended that mercy to us, right? So yeah. So let's look at the Spirit leads those who yield. So the Holy Spirit will not force himself on us, right? Like God never forces himself on us. We have to seek him. We have to submit to him, right? We have to give him power over our lives to control our lives, right? So Romans 8:14, it says, "For those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God." It's a clear definition of what the children of God are. When we submit and yield to the Holy Spirit, right, we really walk as the children of God. Otherwise, we are the children of God, that's our identity, but we may not be walking in that identity until we yield, means submit, right? And are led by Him. So God calls us His own, and we know that, but we really walk as His children when we take the leading of the Spirit of God. We are really walking in our true identity. Our identity in God's eyes is that we're children. So I'm not saying if you do not walk, but we really represent to the world that we are children of God when we are walking in the Spirit, right? Yielding is not about losing control, it's about giving control to one who knows best. Holy Spirit knows all things. He knows the beginning to the end. He knows the consequences for every thought, every action, every emotion in our lives. So that's why he needs to guide us, right? And there is a constant battle between flesh and the spirit, right? It says in Galatians 5:16, so I say, walk by the Spirit, so you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. Our old nature wants one thing, and the Spirit wants another thing. Yielding means choosing the Spirit's desires over our own, in daily, every moment, um, every time, every second, right? Yielding requires surrender and humility, right? It says in James chapter 4, verse 7, submit yourself then to God. resist the devil and he will flee from you. So true yielding starts with us, you know, humbling ourselves, surrendering every thought, every emotion, every will, everything that is in us, every cell, every, everything we do, every minute, submitting to God, submitting to the Holy Spirit. When we bow our will to God's will, trusting His ways to lead us, it will bring freedom and it will bring life, and we will be walking as children of God because we are led by the Spirit of God then. So what happens is, the fruit of yielding is freedom and power. So when we yield, we don't lose, we gain. Remember, freedom from sin's grip, power to love, forgive, hope, and endure. These are the things that, sets us free, because the Holy Spirit reveals how much we are loved. He reveals how much we are forgiven, how much God doesn't get offended by the things we do or say, and how much He's extending His mercy to us so that we can extend that same mercy to everyone. Remember. So yielded life is a victorious life. Remember, we are called to walk in victory. Resurrection power brings victory to our lives, but we have to yield to the Holy Spirit to experience that resurrection life, because it is He who raised Jesus from the dead, right? So the power is within the Holy Spirit. And we will see that as we move out, the power of God working more and more in our lives. We are not only transforming our lives, we're seeing transformation in our families' lives, because the way we are talking to them, behaving in our friends, family, every person that we come into contact, when we yield to the Holy Spirit, right? There is a nature of God that is released within us, the fruit of the Spirit, right? And what happens? People get impacted by it. Our lives are impacted by it, right? Our faith is at a very high level. So, what does it mean for us? It means we must practice saying yes to the Holy Spirit throughout the day. In every decision, every thought, every emotion, every reaction, we invite Him to lead us. Yielding leads to becoming more sensitive to God, being able to hear God's voice, which we're going to look at tomorrow, listening to God's voice. And this is more we yield, the more we experience His peace, power, and presence. So, yielding is not a one time act, it's a lifestyle, right? As we learn to surrender more deeply, what we will do is we'll walk more closely with the Holy Spirit. We will discover the joy and strength of the Lord that the world cannot steal. So I hope this encouraged you today. I want you to know that the the personhood of the Holy Spirit is with us right now. Are we giving in? Are we surrendering? Are we humbling ourselves? You want to see God's power in your life, in your marriages, with your friends, in your ministry, in your business, in your workplace. You have to yield to the Holy Spirit. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.